Dear users, dear partners, I'd like to introduce to you a new version of BSC Designer and talk a little bit about the features that we have implemented in this software. First of all, I know that most of you use this very actively. Each indicator has an update interval, as you know, and you can choose that the interval. The update interval for an indicator can be monthly, quarterly, yearly, daily, or whatever. And for example, for this indicator, we have an update interval which is monthly, and respectively interval is updated on the first day of the month. And here you have a checkbox that allows input only for the dates that are allowed by this update interval. Respectively, for this KPI, the allowed days will be the first day of each month. And now you will notice that if you go to edit values, KPIs edit values, you will notice that, for example, in this example, this line, this date is marked by a red color. And actually this is because this date, the 18th of May, is not what is allowed by the update interval. So if I click OK, the software tells me about this, and it will still calculate the values for these dates that are not allowed for your update interval, but here you need to decide what you want to do. So one option is to go here and turn this checkbox off. This will allow entering data for whatever date you want. Or another option is to change the date here so that the software will know that this data is for, let's say, 1st of May, and then it will allow to enter it. So this feature is actually was designed to help you organize your data a little bit more and help you to keep your data structured and organized. Now, another change that you might notice was added to the gauge chart that we have here. The small version is more or less the same as it was, but if you double click and open a big version, you'll find here a legend that actually tells you what these lines correspond to. So where is the baseline, where is the target, and where is the value? We have implemented autosave feature in BSC Designer Online in the cloud-based version a long time ago, and now we have implemented it in the desktop version as well. So if you go to General tab and Application Options, you'll find here this autosave document every something seconds checkbox. So if you, by default, it is turned on. So now if your computer will have some unexpected shutdown, then when you restart and you start BSC Designer again, the software will suggest for you to open an autosave of your project. So this is very useful to make sure that you're actually keeping your documents safe and secure. Now, probably the biggest improvement was about data inheritance. What it is all about. Let me create the copy of this indicator, and I will switch update interval to not specified. And let's say here's our data for this KPI, and let me switch to, let's say, 15th of June. Yeah, and as you can see, the software shows here the value, which is 83.9. And if I go to edit values, for 15th of June there is no value. Yeah, there is value for the 1st of June and for the 1st of July, but the software shows us this value 83.9 for the 15th June because this value was inherited from this one, from the value that we have for the 1st of June. And this is one way how the software can treat the data. And this was, for a long time, this was the unique way that the software used to present the data. And now you can choose. Now you can choose what you want to do. You can use inherited values, like you're using them now. Or you can switch to a different option, use entered values only. And let's see what will happen in this case. This case, if I choose some date in the calendar for which I don't have any data, the value field is empty, and respectively the program cannot calculate the performance or progress. But if I choose this, let's say 1st of June, I have the data, and the progress and the performance are calculated. This is needed because in some cases, we cannot use inheritance. In some cases, for example, when we log sales data for the first day of each month, we don't expect this sales data to be inherited for other dates. We want to see only the data that was entered specifically. In this case, you can now go to Edit Values, as I showed before, and switch this value inheritance list. And if you have a scorecard where all the indicators follow the same strategy for the data entry, then you can simply use this default option and then go to File, Document Properties, Group tab, and here you can use this checkbox to specify what options should be used by default for your indicators. Or, as I mentioned before, you can set specific value inheritance settings for each of the indicators on your scorecard. These are the major improvements that we did in BSC Designer Professional, and respectively this feature with inheritance was also implemented in BSC Designer Online, so you can find it there. And we also introduced some changes to PowerPoint report, and we also did some cosmetic changes to some charts. Now that's all about the software, and we have also recently released a new training and certification that is focusing on the KPIs. So if you plan to do a serious research of the KPIs for organization, I do recommend for you to check out this training and certification. There are some different participation options, and probably you are interested in joining this training and getting more information about it. And one thing that if you are a user of BSC Designer, active user of BSC Designer with an active subscription or active license, then you already have an access to the materials of this training in the knowledge base. So make sure that you have checked the information there. It's very useful when you need to come up with some new KPIs. And on our website, you can find this training here in the training menu. And here you have training, KPI training and certification. That's all about the updates that we have added recently. And looking forward to working with you in the future. Thank you very much and goodbye.